Hello to all of you out there. I just wanted to make a video about mining. That is to say, about the first time you go out in a prospector to mine and how to do this. Now I know there are a lot of videos talking about how to mine, but none of those address the issues I had when I started first mining. Which buttons to press, which things to do, which things to look out for. And that's why I make this video, and I will explain everything in detail. I will bring a lot of information to the video, and some of those things you might not get at first when you don't know what to look for or where to look for, but it will become clear after viewing and even reviewing the video. So what we are going to do is bring out our prospector and go out mining. I take it for granted that you have a prospector. The thing is, you can buy one outside the game or in-game, or even rent one. If you have a rented one, you cannot upgrade it that easy. I have an upgraded one, but I'll talk about the differences while we are going there. So where do we start? The first time you go out mining, it might be the easiest way to start from Port Olisar and head for one of the moons, and I'll show you why in just a second. Let me first try to get my prospector here, and it's being delivered to the platform at A2. So let's go there. As this is my first video ever, I might hesitate sometimes to do things while talking and performing at the same time, but I'll hope it gets clear. So let's head out for the prospector. First warning I have to give you, if you start from any station, and also Port Olisar, is look around if there are any hostiles among the flyers out there, because they are willing to kill your ship for fun. I don't know why, but these people are also present in the game, not always alone in real life. So let's take the seat. Fire her up, plus pressing R, and take off.
Hello, how can we help you today? Systems on.
Okay, now the reason I start from Port Olisar is when I bring up the HUD, I mean the chart, you see that from Port Olisar you can reach each of the 3 moons fairly easy. Now Crusader moves of course in an orbit around the star Stanton, and that means that the light is coming from the right direction. That means that Daymar, when you try to reach that, is in the night, and Yella and Chelin will be daylight. Now the distance to Yella is the shortest, so we'll move over there. And there's another reason for going in daylight, because if you travel to a moon in daylight and always choose the left side of the moon to start from, you mine in the direction of the sun coming up over your head and going down behind you. And that has another advantage in it, because most of the time if you mine without direction, you end up circling around and visiting the same spot twice. So if you move in the direction of the sun, you cannot lose your direction. Now I talked about an upgraded prospector. This is an upgraded prospector. When you first start out, you have your first laser, and that is not as strong as this Helix 1 laser, That is the third laser you can buy, and it's worth every penny. In between you can buy a second laser for about 50 or 50 plus thousand UACs, and this one, this helix laser, costs about 107,000, but it's able to penetrate even the hardest rocks. Now, when you're at the moon, you see that it's daylight. You start at the left side, you press B for spooling, and you see which sites come up on the left side. Now there's a site. Aston Ridge might be on the other, just on the other side of the moon, 476 kilometers, and that's about the only size. Or right up, but you don't have very much daytime if you go that way. The best is somewhere in the mid-range of the moon, so you can have the longest time. So what we're going to do is go there. And also on every site you start mining, watch the HUD for enemies. When I come there, I want to point out two more things on the HUD that you should know. As you can see, we arrive in nighttime, but it's not a problem. I advise you to start mining in the daylight to get used to it, and after that you can start mining in nighttime. You turn around to the right where the sun is, and there you see. And here at Yella it's even more convenient because the sun will come up around there, and you can always travel in the direction of this asteroid ring, asteroid belt. So as you can see, we're about 2,700 meters above the ground, so we slide it down to around 700 meters. 700 meters is the ideal height to scan and to look around. I will not talk about mining consumables in this video because you can see other videos about that. Just about bare mining, and not even hand mining, because from the last upgrade on, hand mining, it's not impossible, but you used to see the hand mining sites quite easily on the map, but these days you have to fly over, well, in a proximity of about 50 meters to find them. And then you have to bring your hand tools and your rucksack with it to mine them. So I'm at 1,000 meters now, but there's a ridge coming on, so I go a bit up. I put on my scanner with the tab button, and as you can see, you can zoom it in or out with your mouse wheel. When it's completely zoomed out, and that's the mode you always will use, then it's 360 degrees around you. Now your first scan, you push your right mouse button and you keep it steady until it fills, and then you let it go with the crosshair aiming just below the horizon. And there you see it. That's your scan. Now then you fly. Keep your altitude, because if you keep aiming just below the horizon, you will decrease your height above the surface. Move forward and at the same time keep your height, and then when you go steadily in the direction of the sun, what you will do is scan in that direction of the sun about 10 to 20 degrees left and right of it. Then you have everything. When you get a bit further and the sun comes higher in the sky, you cannot see the sun anymore. You go by the shadows that the stones cast on the surface. So there's a second scan. Nothing. What you see in the lower right corner is a little blue box, which is 2,800 meters to our back. Normally you can go there, but I don't do this as I move back in the darkness. But that's a proof that the scan goes completely circular. And you lose valuable time going back. And this is what you see when your scan hits. It's a blue box in which it will contain some mineable stones. The box disappears, and when you come near, you can scan again, and the box will come again, and sometimes the box will divide itself upon 2 or 3 minor boxes with some mineable stones in there. And there you see the first. That sign is a sign that there is a mineable rock. You fly gently towards it. There it is. Now, you can keep the scan on, but what I do is press M for mining, fracture mode. Then you see it's tungsten and corundum. And that's not very usable. Please bear in mind that the best minerals to mine are all minerals that end with ite, I-T-E, brexilite, laranite, etc., plus 3 others, and those are agricium, quantanium and borase. They bring up the most, but this is nothing. Anything else, I would just leave it. So we go up again, we put up the scanning mode again, we fly towards the sun, I repeat the process. Watch the mountains, go up a bit, and there on the left side we see another box. And this is the reason to always fly in the direction of the sun, because if you are there now and you have to turn around because you do a flyby or you go too fast, you won't know or you won't remember what your direction was. And there it is. You can push a little on the button and just scan again if you're not sure where to find, but if you do this more than once, then you get to recognize the stones by their shape. Let's see what this is. And always when you see it at first, you see a yellow outline and the mass of the rock at the right top of your HUD. About the HUD, the scanning HUD, I will talk more in a few seconds. This is just diamond and corundum, and it's not worth very much, so I will pass it. Get some height back. Now normally, when you go mining, it will take about half an hour to an hour, depending on how much minerals you engage. And it will bring up normally in between 30 and 90,000 UAC. You can get more or less. You see here I had a little bit of momentum forward, so I will be pointing back. And that's why I always fly in the same direction. Now this one has agricium, 3%. Normally people say don't mine anything less than 5%, but you can get lucky when you break up the rock and get one piece of 100% or a bit less. Now what you do is you press your left button in fracture mode. You can change fracture mode by changing right button, fracture mode and extracting mode. And you push left button. Then you put out a laser, but it does nothing. If you scroll the mouse wheel, you can see on the left down button that your laser throttle is moving up and your rock energy will be moving upward as well. The trick is to stay in the green window, and especially with some minerals, especially quantanium, this window is very small. There are tricks with consumables which you can buy at the store to enlarge that window. Now if you move up and do this ever so slightly, then you can see that the rock energy level is moving up. Sometimes with a greater numbers of instability and resistance, this will not happen even with 100%. What you can do then is with the same throttle, move a bit closer, and then you can see that the energy level is also going up. And if it's not going up then you can paint the rock like this to heat it up to get it into the energy level. And the trick is not to be in the overcharge level, because if the overcharge takes too long, the rock will explode and it will possibly kill you or harm you in any way. And if a rock is split up, a big rock, in smaller rocks you still see the yellow outlines, but also the purple outlines which you can scoop up immediately. Now aluminium is worth not very much. This one is also aluminium. If you move over the rock and hover over it, you can see what it is. And there is a rock also with aluminium. That's a purple rock, also with aluminium. Aluminium. And that must be the agricium rock. Yes, it is. Now, sometimes due to bug, when you fracture a rock which has the mineral you want, the rock splits up and the piece of rock with the mineral you want is nowhere to be seen. It can be underneath, and that's very difficult. What you can do then, but it's very tricky, is to overcharge it with your fracture mode to blast it away, but you can get damaged in the process. I will teach you something which you have to do, which I haven't done yet, but as a beginner you have to do. I will show you that in a minute. Now there's some pieces. There's aluminium. There's agricium, 50%. That's always good. Normally, go to extraction mode. And it will suck up the rock and fill up your cargo. Always try to get as big a percentage as possible, because if you fill up your cargo space with inert materials, you get nothing for that. Now to be sure, if you have sucked up everything and there's not some agricium left, you can put up your scan mode, and on the right side you see the contents. There's only aluminium left, so we're done here. Now what I do now is I press F to go into the thought mode, and I scroll the mouse wheel, and to put my shields at 70% and my thrusters and engines at 30. That's enough for being on the surface, but all the energy going to the shields isn't exactly a luxury when things can explode around you. So we'll move up again. I see that I forgot to refuel at the base, always a thing to remember. And we go in the direction of the sun again. And we see the shadows. And let the shadows always point directly at you. That's of course not the case all day, because from a moment the sun is right on top of you in your zenith, then the shadows will point backwards, but you have at yellow at least you have this asteroid belt to guide the way. Make a note of its orientation. Now I started at yellow. You can always also start on Chelin, that's also in the daylight now. It's a bit further, and Daymar, but Daymar is in the nighttime. You can of course mine on any moon, any planet that has minerals, but this is the short distance back into your port to Selene. And there is another box. See there the stone in the middle, that's probably the rock, but the single rocks mostly don't contain the minerals you want unless you're lucky. Minerals are spread randomly over the satellites, the moons and the planets, so there is no such thing as keeping such a place in memory or try to get back there, because they spawn randomly. And also there is no system in Star Citizen to mark where you have been or mark you where you want to go. You have to go by the features of the landscape. And another scan. Nothing there. We move right. Still going forward. And not extra throttle, just pressing the W button, not going on cruise mode, because you will crash into something. And look here. Left and right. First we go left down, so I Press the S button to put a little brake on. Let's see what this will be. Diamonds, nothing very much. Turn right again, where I saw that last one. That is gone, so I have to rescan. And sometimes the scan does work, sometimes it doesn't. Just wait, be patient and scan again. Little scan, must be that rock there. Yep. Copper and quartz, also nothing. We're not in luck. Now the only material you have to take care of when you mine is quantanium. Two reasons. The green window is extremely small, so you're about to go in overcharge very quickly, which can let the rock explode. And second, quantanium is very unstable, so there can be a warning in your ship that it's going unstable. It will come from this panel. First a green light will pop on, then an orange light, and eventually a red light that your ship is about to explode. And when that orange or red light is coming on after mining quantanium, please jettison your load, and you jettison with pushing that button, which doesn't show up now because there's no volatile cargo in sight. I must warn you for a bug, because even if you mine normal materials, so no quantanium, that bug can go off in flashing that green light, which eventually will flash the red light, and then it will stop. So if you're sure you have no quantanium there, just let it go. It's a bug and will be repaired probably. So look at the shadows on the ground, on the stones. We're going left 20 to 30 degrees. Scan there. And the thing is, if you look to the sky, you can still see Crusader and near it Port Olisar if you stay on the day side. And you go from left to right over the planet because the planet turns that way, which causes the sun, of course, to turn the opposite direction. Scan 2 times, and there you have another one. Now what I'm looking for, of course, is multiple stones to mine. And you see there's always this momentum when you keep pressing your forward button, which causes the ship to turn. So keep your height, pressing your space bar. I don't fly with the HOTAS. I did that, but I find mouse and keyboard just as easy. And here you have multiple stones, so let's see what this brings. Oh, even more done. And there. Nice. What I do is I scan them first to see what it is. And that is very handy because a prospector has limited, there's a Grisium, has limited cargo, and inert materials will take up a lot of cargo space. There will be also a jettison possibility with this inert material cargo space in the future, but not now. So be careful in what you take into your ship. Now it seems that the only stone, the first stone we scanned was a Grisium. And the other stones, gold, aluminium, tungsten, worth next. Oh, there's another Grisium. Okay, that's good. Just check if you didn't miss any stone with the tab button and the scan. No, we didn't. So we go there, put on mining mode with M. 8%, that's a good percentage. Put on your fracture mode. You switch with the right button, right mouse button, fracture and extraction. Put on the laser and put her up. Not too quickly, not too quickly. When you do this at first, you will get over throttle and overcharge. Just paint the stone a little, see how it reacts, so you get a feel for it. Believe me, I have a lot of exploded prospectors to account for. Move her up. And there you see it moving up. When it's moving up too quickly, the rock energy level, put the throttle down. It's going up. Easy, a little bit more, And there it comes in the green zone. Now throttle back easy. It's always better to throttle back too much than too little. Now you see it moving towards the red zone. Throttle back a bit more, and then it's falling back. Throttle up a bit more again, and there it brakes. That's all there is to it.
Scan initiated.
Now this is also a yellow outline, so I have to brake it again. It's only gold. Well, I wish that here on Earth, but it's worth next to nothing in space. Inert materials, we don't want that.
Scan complete.
Inert materials, let it scan. Just point over to it. Agricium, and we can, it's purple, so we can move to extraction mode. Suck it up. 68% is really good. A rock of 370 kilos is good. You see the cargo capacity diminishing, and we're almost 30% full. So it really pays off to check all the stones first, and even when you're well near 80%, just check if there's anything else in it. And even when you're near 80%, to break up every stone first and then suck up the rock pieces which have the most percentage of the mineral you want. Scan progress, press left button to do that. Now well, there's nothing in it here anymore. But inert material. And you see that even with a low percentage, you can get a big piece of agricium in one piece. But if it's divided among more pieces, you get more inert material. Same here. Switch back to fracture mode. Watch the shadows while I'm doing of the stone. We're almost directly in the direction of the sun. Now the thing is, which I notice when you're playing with a clan or with TeamSpeak or Discord, that by chatting you easily get distracted from your laser throttle and rock energy level, and you end up getting in the red and blow yourself up. So always pay attention to that. Move over the throttle very gently, move it up, and once it reaches the green window, turn it down. You see a big green window. Maybe we're in the opportunity to see a smaller window later with Quantanium, and for that, when you mine Quantanium and it's one of your first mining efforts and it's your first rock, then you don't get to mine any further after that because you don't have any time for that. And you have to get back. But if you have a lot of Quantanium, it really pays off, even with half or a quarter of cargo. There's agricium, still a yellow outline. We have to fracture a bit more. Move it up. And don't panic when you're overcharging. I can show you, I will overcharge now. Just press left button and it will fall back. But as long as on the lower right side, I have to go back. No, just as long as on the lower right side the red indicator moves up, your fracturing sensor will move up and will reach 100% and the rock will explode. So just press left button to stop your laser. Okay, we do it again. And it's better to start all over a few times than to let your ship explode with a full cargo of any valuable material. There it goes. Nice and stable in the green window and reach 100% and bang, it breaks. Up in large, purple pieces. That's aluminium, we don't want that. That's agricium, 69% is good. Oh, let me change to extraction mode. Talking and performing is the same as in driving a car. You will be distracted. There is a bit and there is a tiny piece on the back. Just make sure you scan everything. Nothing more there or there. Probably we have all the things we need now. but just to be sure, scan it. And if you scan every piece you can see, you will not see everything because underneath will be a few pieces. Put on the scanning in total and you see that it's only aluminium.
Mining mode off.
Now we scanned all the pieces before we started, so we don't have to scan really all the other pieces.
On.
So we'll go on our way towards the direction of the sun. And you see that you can't see the sun anymore because it's moving over the asteroid belt onto your zenith, but we still have the asteroid belt.
Mode on.
Excuse me. To point to. So that's why it's very comfortable to start on yellow. And you can do a few mining runs, and on your right hand side you see a blue box, 3,000 meters. We'll go there, we'll check it out. See where it is. There it is. Because if we never lose our direction, we can go any way we want. And I can assure you we'll then end up driving in circles if you don't take a point on the horizon at which you can aim to. There it is. Sometimes you see the boxes jump because it's always in a big blue box and then smaller blue boxes if you come nearer and can scan more precise. Oh, there's even a stone here outside the box. Must be in the bigger box we scanned earlier.
Scan initiated.
Diamond, tungsten, not interested, sorry guys.
Scan
These rocks here look very mineable, yeah.
initiated.
Tungsten, corundum again.
Scan initiated.
Diamond and copper.
Scan initiated.
Copper and corundum, that's the materials you see most. And I think I have had every stone. Yep. We're gonna take up height again. Increase our distance from the surface. So the ideal height, as I said before, is about 700 meters. You can see in every direction and you miss nothing. Push a little bit to the right. Oh, there it is. So if you go first mining with your first laser, there on the right side is another one. We go there after this one. You have a laser which cannot break the bigger stones of over 5,000 or 6,000 kilos. But if you come very close to the stone and you paint your laser over the stone like you saw me doing, I will do it again, then sometimes you can break them, but you really need a helix laser to do that. This is Quantanium.
Scan complete. Scan initiated.
And also Quantanium. So what I'll do here
Collision. Scan initiated.
is fracture this stone up to pieces,
Scan complete.
to extractable pieces that is, and then suck it up. Now this green window is already smaller, but not as small as the Quantanium window itself will be, because there is also quartz and aluminium inside. But be very careful here. Throttle up. You will see if I split the stone and I will try to break the rock with the most Quantanium in it, that this green window will be very, very small. There it goes, already faster, so I'll throttle back. It keeps moving up. And there it goes. I throttle back, throttle back, throttle back. Throttle back. And forwards. Try to keep in the green zone. And because I also play on a laptop, I know this is very difficult. If your computer isn't that fast, your throttle wheel will not react that fast and your ship will move jittery, and then it's not a good thing to go mining for Quantanium. Now there is quantanium 16%, that's high.
Scan initiated.
That one is nothing.
Scan initiated.
This is extractable quantanium, we will do that of course. Aluminium, quartz, and also quantanium.
Extraction mode on.
We will break this rock first.
Scan complete.
You see that it's already reacting very quickly. So ever so slightly move the throttle wheel forward, and once you reach the zone, throttle back a bit. Better to start anew than to be killed by overcharging. And it will fall back if you go below the green zone. Doesn't matter, just move the throttle back up and it will pick up again. We broke that one,
Scan initiated.
and then we have to break that one. This one has a high instability, so you see that because there's more quantanium inside, that the green window is smaller. We may have to come nearer. Oh, I go in overcharge. Just put up my laser. It's very easy to go in overcharge when mining quantanium. Throttle up and forth. You have to get a feeling for it. You don't do it right the first time, not even the second or the third time. You have to get used to this. And better safe than sorry. There it breaks up. Now what we do, we move to this rock, break it as well, and then take up the quantanium and see what that leaves us if we have time and space to go to another site. But normally when I have bigger loads of quantanium, I tend to go back to a place where I can sell before it gets unstable. There's no real percentage at which the quantanium will go unstable, but I always take it on the safe side. I have exploded too many times with losing a cargo of maybe over 100,000 full of quantanium. And with quantanium in it, of course, you can get easily over 90,000 if you have a lot of it. But normally, like I said, you will have about 30 to 90,000 credits worth of selling. That's quantanium, that's good. That's yellow, which is inert. That is quantanium, we have to break that.
Scan complete.
Moving up the throttle, you know the drill. And of course it still happens to me that I overcharge a stone. Happens to everybody. But like I said, with consumables you can widen that green window, but it's for another video. This is just for starters. Now, as you have may noticed, English is not my native tongue. I'm Dutch. So I hope you understand me correctly. Well, that's all good stuff there. That must be the quantanium, yes of course. What is this piece? Barrel and quartz, we don't need that. Quantanium, we have to break that. And after that, checking that last stone and take it up. Let it move forward, the rock energy level, throttle back. Always throttle back. Better too much than too little. Keep it in the middle. It won't stay in the middle out of itself. You have to keep it there. It's kind of unstable. There it goes. Okay. Now we can move to extraction mode. Let me first check this stone here. It's also quantanium. That's what I thought. So I have to break that as well. And as long as the quantanium is not in your ship, it's not unstable. So you can leave it there. Barrel. Okay, we change to extraction mode. Quantanium. Suck it up. There's one piece sticking out of the ground. Now don't go over it. Can I still see it there? It's inert. I hope so. We'll check that later. That's barrel. There's quantanium. And you see the cargo capacity moving up, so it's best to take the bigger pieces first.
Scan initiated. Scan complete. Scan initiated. Scan initiated. Scan initiated.
Sometimes it's very difficult to see the boundaries between the stones. And then you can hover over the stones a little bit forward, a little bit backward to see them better, or even turning around to see a stone underneath. Quartz and barrel. Now I do have a feeling that there is still some... No, there isn't. No more here. So we turn back to this stone. We already did that. That's quantanium there. Extraction mode. See, we're already at 90%. And we're full. And you see what you cannot take up here. Aluminium, and there was some quantanium here as well, I believe.
Scan initiated.
Yeah, see, 35%. That's what I missed. And that is the thing. Just scan and take the bigger pieces first. I was too greedy here. And greed is always a bad advisor. But okay, we're there. We're full. We're heading back. Put up the map. Port Olisar. And when you've done everything the right way, you see that Port Olisar is up in the sky, so you don't have to move around the planet. So we have to get up, put on our spooler, and at 2,000 meters altitude you see that you'll exit the atmosphere, and you can move over there. 2,000 meters. There we go. I turn the ship this side up because I know Port Olisar is oriented that way to land on. And that's how we do it. Now, I have to give you a warning because, of course, Star Citizen is in an alpha state. Sometimes you can get a disconnect with full cargo, and that's too bad because you have to start all over again. It will not save your cargo. And that's why it's always better to head out home with half a cargo, which is worth something, than to wait too long and get a chance of disconnection. Now watch out at your HUD, top HUD, if there are any enemies around Port Olisar, because sometimes there will be just guys who like to shoot you.
Quantum travel complete. Contact received.
Oh, there is a red one. I have to take care of that. Don't come too close, maybe some other guys will take care of that. And it's becoming a hazard these days. And when they come close and start to shoot, just throttle up at maximum and boost away. And do a hyper jump somewhere. Better that. But I have Quantanium now, so I don't have very much choice but to go in. I'll heal Olisar, keep as low as profile as I can.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
What I normally do is I try to fuel up before I go out the ship, but with Quantanium and enemies, I just run as fast as I can. He doesn't seem to be on board there. Put on my landing gear with Anne.
Landing gear
Oh,
down.
I am overshooting here. Not paying attention. It's not too clever.
Fuel at 75%.
Yeah, well, that's enough. And put her down gently. Okay.
Landing
Doesn't
successful.
say.
Get out of the ship. And as fast as I can to sell the stuff. Because I don't want to run the risk that some little nerd is blowing up my ship.
You are blocking an active flight bay.
I'm blocking an active flight bay. That's strange because oh, what's this? No light here. If I'm too slow, they will
Initiating ship storage procedure.
store my
For
ship,
safety, please vacate the area.
but it's not a problem because if my ship is stored, I can still sell the stuff. Hey, there is no administration here. Oh, there it
Initiating
is.
ship storage procedure.
It's a glitch
For
in the
safety,
game.
Please vacate the area. Thank you for your cooperation.
Select location. Prospector, and you see I have 46,000, and you see Agricium is worth a lot and Quantanium, but I have only 5% Quantanium. So that's 46 and a half, and that's the usual run, like I said before, in between 30 and 90,000. You can do multiple runs a day, and if you do 3 runs, you mostly end up in the range of 200, 250,000 if you do it well. And that's the end of this tutorial video. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you have any questions or you want to review it again for the information, alright, and if you have any questions you can leave it in the section below. I will answer them, and I hope I will make some more videos for you in the future to what you want to hear and want to see. Thank you for your attention, and until next time guys, bye bye.